Most people actually fail at running their own business because they don't realize what it actually takes. It's not just about working for yourself, it's about constant problem solving, failing, and adapting. So if you're serious about it, here are 5 lessons that could save you a ton of time, stress, and money. Hey everyone, welcome back, or if you're new here, hi, I'm Mark. I'm a UX and product designer, a digital marketer, and someone who loves creating content about personal growth, productivity, and all things design. Okay, starting with lesson 1. It's a 24/7 job. One of the first things I learned is that business ownership doesn't clock out. There's no off switch. I learned this lesson twice. The first time was back in September of 2024 when I took a solo trip to Western Europe for a month. I thought I had things under control, but nope, I actually lost a client. They needed low fidelity wireframes, and I figured I do this all the time at my full-time job, so it shouldn't take me more than half a day. Wrong. At work, I have access to templates, systems, and resources that actually make it a lot easier for me to do things like this. But when you're running your own business, you're starting completely from scratch. So trying to put together solid wireframes while traveling between flights, airports, and just exploring new places was just a mess. So deadline slipped, and unfortunately I lost a client. Second time around, my New Year's trip, I knew better, so I set aside 2 full days to work. But even then, it was just barely enough to keep up. The reality is, if you don't plan ahead or have a structure that allows for time off, every vacation means lost income or delayed projects. So my long-term goal is to actually build a business where I don't have to be constantly involved, but for now, it's just a grind. So the lesson here is, if you want real time off, plan ahead. Wrap up projects before you leave, or be ready to work while you're traveling. The next lesson is to just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. A lot of people get stuck in the planning phase, overthinking every decision, trying to create the perfect strategy. But the thing about it is, you won't know until you try. I've tested so many different client acquisition strategies, and some of them failed, some of them actually worked, some of them worked for a while and then stopped, but that's just all a part of the process. Keep in mind, you can't copy the same strategies as the next guy and the people you see online, because what might have worked for them might not work for you, and for many reasons. For example, the method they took could be oversaturated, maybe they had connections in a network that you didn't, maybe they have more money and resources to try different things and you don't. So many possible reasons. Don't try to follow in their footsteps. Instead, you should learn from the mistakes of others, but don't be afraid to make some of your own. Every mistake is a learning lesson. Right now, I'm actually redesigning my client acquisition and marketing strategy to target higher ticket clients. Will it work? No clue, but I'm putting in the research, testing things, and adjusting everything along the way. And once I figured it out, I'll definitely share what worked and what didn't. So if you want to stay updated on that, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I drop that video. Lesson number 3. Delegate or burn out. If you're trying to do everything yourself, you will burn out fast. I have a full-time job, I make YouTube videos, I run a business. If I didn't have a team to help me, there's no way I'd be able to keep up. There's only 24 hours in a day. 8 hours of that goes to sleep, at least I hope. Another 8 hours, 8-ish hours, goes to your full-time job, if you have one at least for me. That leaves 8 hours for meals, gym, free time, cleaning, my business, and pretty much everything else. Now imagine handling multiple clients at once. If every moving part is on you, you're definitely setting yourself for failure. So instead, delegate. Hire a video editor if you want to post consistently on YouTube. Get a social media manager to keep your content flowing. Find a project manager or assistant if you need help organizing. If a client needs a design you can't handle alone, outsource a little part of it. But don't go overboard. If you outsource too much, you might just lose control, or at least creative control, of your own business. So it's all about balance. Your work might just not feel like it's yours if everything is not your actual work. Another lesson that I learned is that finding good freelancers is hard, or finding people to work with. I've worked with brand designers, motion designers, writers, a lot of different people. And let me tell you, it is just not easy. You have to sift through a ton of people, and even after hiring them, you may still want to test some of their skills on at least the projects that you're working with. So that might actually mean spending a little bit of money. So here's what I actually do to minimize the risk. If I need a designer, I work on the same project alongside them. That way, if I don't like what they deliver, I still have my own version to fall back on. Another thing I do is I add buffer time between when I need their work and when the client expects it, just in case it doesn't meet the standard. And then lastly, if you're hesitant to risk money on a test project, give them a small part of the work first and see how they perform. The last thing you want to do is hand off an important project and then have to redo the entire thing because the freelancer didn't deliver. Okay, so one of the last lessons that I have learned, at least so far, is that clients aren't always reasonable. Some are amazing, but others not so much. And I know for a fact this one is definitely felt throughout the freelancer community. It is difficult working with clients who don't understand the ins and outs of marketing, at least in my case. Creating a high quality custom website is a long and difficult process. Depending on the complexity of the request, it can be a lot of intense work. And depending on the client, they could create some difficulties. So here are some of the biggest struggles that I've run into. Number one is unrealistic timelines. Some clients think you can build a custom high quality website overnight. I once had a client ask for the AR try-on feature and a 3D configurator, which by the way is something major companies like BMW and Ray-Ban use, and they wanted it done in a month. Impossible. Another struggle that I've been faced with is budget issues. A lot of people don't realize how much good design and development actually cost. I've had someone offer me $50 for a full website. Another person wanted half a project done for free as a test, which is insane. Honestly, if they really wanted a cheap website, they could have just made one in Squarespace. Another struggle that I deal with is overly price-conscious clients. It's crazy. Some clients will pay for the cheapest package and then ask you to do 10 revisions, walk their dog, mow their lawn, and wash their car. I'm more than happy to work with these clients within the confines of the contract and the agreement of what they purchased. But unfortunately, they aren't, at least some of them. A lot of them will also retaliate if you deny some of their requests by giving you bad feedback on platforms such as Upwork, Fiverr, or Contra. So watch out for these individuals. Another struggle is communication problems. Clients need to understand what they are spending their money on and what you're working on. That's necessary, most definitely. Although some clients may take it a little too far. For me, on the digital marketing perspective, I've had clients that will ask questions on very minute details, things that don't impact the overall campaign at all, and then they'll just use that information to make decisions, which is not beneficial. What I'd recommend here is to preemptively communicate everything they need to know and understand. Make sure to emphasize only the important KPIs and remind them of timelines and deliverables. Anything else, just mention that it's technical and doesn't really tell the full story. At the end of the day, part of the job is managing expectations, but if a client is making your life difficult, it's okay to walk away. So those are 5 lessons I've learned from running my own business. It's a journey and I'm still learning every day. If any of these lessons resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you experienced anything similar? What's the biggest challenge you face in freelancing or running your own business? And if you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss future videos. I've got more insights, strategies, and business lessons coming soon, so I would love to see you there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.